The auction house on Europa Station smelled of recycled air and desperation. Elsa stood on the platform, her wrists bound by neural dampeners that suppressed the genetic modifications humming through her cells. Beside her, two others waited, a young woman named Kira and a boy called Benny, no older than 16. All three wore the gray jumpsuits marked with red chevrons, the universal symbol for reproductive nulls. Lot 73, the auctioneer's voice crackled through the dome's speakers. 3 units from the Ganymede Genesis project, terminated for failure to meet fertility benchmarks. Enhanced cognitive functions, radiation resistance, and extended cellular regeneration intact. Starting bid, 5,000 credits. Elsa's jaw tightened. Units. That's what they'd become, the moment the med scans confirmed what the colony administrators had suspected. Their engineered bodies, designed to populate the outer moons, couldn't reproduce. In the resource-scarce economy of the Jovian system, infertility was a death sentence for manufactured humans. They'd cost too much to create, and now they served no purpose in the grand terraforming scheme. The crowd below barely stirred. Most bidders came for laborers, miners, technicians, people who could work until their enhanced bodies gave out. Sterile GenMod humans were considered defective merchandise. Benny shifted beside her, his youthful face trying to maintain composure. Elsa had met him only 3 days ago in the holding cells beneath the station. He'd been crying then, though he'd tried to hide it. She'd told him what she'd learned in her 12 years of existence. We're still human. Don't let them convince you otherwise. 2,000 credits, a voice called from the back. Elsa couldn't see the bidder through the glare of the platform lights. The auctioneer hesitated. Sir, the starting bid is... I know what it is. 2,000 for all 3. Final offer. Silence fell over the auction house. Elsa's enhanced hearing picked up whispers. Fool. Waste of credits. Probably wants them for parts. The auctioneer's avatar flickered with uncertainty before nodding. Sold to bidder 274. Proceed to intake for transfer processing. Dr. Marcus Webb looked older than his 43 years. Deep lines creased his face, and his eyes carried the weight of someone who'd seen too much of the solar system's cruelty. He stood in the intake bay, watching as the 3 GenMod humans were led toward him, their neural dampeners still active. Daddy! A small voice echoed through the bay. Marcus turned to see his daughter, Arya, running toward him, her 6-year-old legs pumping furiously. Behind her, his son Daniel walked more cautiously, the 13-year-old's face guarded. Daddy, are these the people staying with us? Arya grabbed his hand, staring up at the 3 figures with unfiltered curiosity. They are, Marcus said softly. He approached the security officer. The officer frowned. Sir, until the genetic registration transfer is complete, they're not prisoners. Remove them. The man complied reluctantly. As the dampeners deactivated, Elsa felt her enhancements surge back to life. The subtle electromagnetic sense that let her feel power currents, the enhanced visual spectrum that revealed heat signatures, the cellular regeneration that would keep her young for centuries if she survived that long. She studied Marcus Webb carefully. His clothing was worn but clean. His hands bore the calluses of manual work, unusual for someone who could afford even a discount purchase at auction. But it was his eyes that caught her attention. They held grief, deep and old. My name is Marcus, he said, addressing all 3 of them. This is Arya and Daniel. We live in Habitat Module 7G, about 40 minutes from here. It's not fancy, but there's room. He paused. I'm not looking for servants or laborers. I'm looking for family. Benny spoke first, his voice cracking. We're sterile. We can't give you biological children. I have children, Marcus replied gently. What I don't have is enough people to make our habitat feel like a home again. My wife. We lost her 2 years ago. Radiation leak in the agricultural dome. His voice caught. Sarah believed everyone deserved a chance. She worked with the GenMod Rights Coalition. I'm trying to honor that. Elsa watched Daniel's reaction carefully. The boy looked at them with something between suspicion and desperate hope. Arya simply smiled. Why us? Elsa asked, her enhanced mind already calculating the economics. 3 sterile gen mods cost you 2,000 credits. The monthly nutrient allocation for 3 people would cost you 400. Over a year. I'm a hydroponics engineer, Marcus interrupted. I can grow twice the food our module needs. Credits aren't the issue. He met her eyes. I saw the report attached to your lot. Your cognitive scores were off the charts. Benny's mechanical aptitude tested in the 99th percentile. Kira's genetic profile shows perfect adaptation to low-gravity environments. He shook his head. The colony threw you away because you couldn't make babies. That's not just wrong, it's stupid. You're taking a risk, Kira said quietly, speaking for the first time. The colonial charter has provisions against harboring unproductive gen mods. The charter is changing, Marcus said. Slowly. Sarah knew people in the assembly. They're pushing for gen mod personhood laws. Until then, he shrugged. I'm a widower with 2 kids and 3 adopted relatives. The bureaucracy won't look twice. Elsa studied his face, her enhanced perception analyzing micro-expressions, pupil dilation, skin conductivity. Every indicator suggested he was telling the truth. More remarkably, he seemed to believe what he was saying, that they were worth saving simply because they existed. You're serious, she said finally. Completely. Arya tugged at Elsa's jumpsuit. Will you read to me? Daddy tries, but he does all the voices wrong. Despite everything, the auction, the dampeners, the years of being told she was a failed experiment, Elsa felt something unfamiliar. Hope. Yes, she said quietly. I'll read to you. Marcus smiled, the expression transforming his weathered face. Then let's go home. As they walked toward the transport bay, Daniel fell into step beside Benny. Do you really have mechanical aptitude? The boy asked. Yeah. Why? The habitat's environmental processor keeps malfunctioning. Daddy can't figure it out. Benny's face brightened for the first time since the auction. I could look at it. Behind them, Elsa listened to Arya's chatter about her room and her toys and the hydroponics garden where her mother used to work. Kira walked silently, but Elsa noticed the woman's shoulders had relaxed, the tension draining away. They were still sterile. They were still considered defective by the colony's standards. But as Europa's vast ice plain swept past the transport windows and Arya's small hand slipped into hers, Elsa realized something profound. Family wasn't about genetics or reproductive viability. It was about being chosen when the world said you were worthless. It was about finding home in the most unlikely places. And sometimes, that was enough. The end.